Hello and welcome back to the Football Chat podcast. It's episode 109 today, where we'll be discussing the Chelsea management team and whether Todd Boehly is clueless. Now, of course, the title's a little bit jokey. I don't think Todd Boehly has no idea what he's doing, but we are going to discuss the situation so far, where he's gone wrong with his first foray into the football club owning market, and where he needs to improve for the rest of his stay. Who knows how long it'll be? This could be as long as the Roman era. It could be 50 years. Or he could sell it in a couple of years. Who knows? But we're going to talk about the situation so far to start off with. Should we go back to last summer?
Yeah.
Mate, July 2022.
That's the best time to be a Chelsea fan.
People were very positive. Todd Boehly, firstly, Roman Abramovich, of course, forced to sell the club due to his involvement in the conflict in Russia, and then Todd Boehly comes in with Clearlake Capital and purchases Chelsea for a fee around 3.5 billion, I believe.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Or that was a rumoured fee at the time, maybe even higher than that. But Todd Boehly certainly paid a lot of money for Chelsea Football Club. And he came in that summer, and there was very positive signs. I think a lot of Chelsea fans were optimistic about our chances of success under Boehly. He seemed to have a lot of passion, a lot of desire to be the best. I mean, you look at the transfers we made, the amount of money we splashed in that window alone. It's pretty mental. Koulibaly, of course, at £40 million. Sterling, 40 million. You've got Aubameyang, of course. Fofana came in that window.
Yeah.
Honestly, so many things have happened. I've forgotten who came in the summer, who came in January.
A lot of signs.
But yeah, we certainly made a lot of transfers last summer. Did we target the areas that were most...
I think so.
Necessary?
I think so. We bought in 2 centre-halves.
We did.
And
that was useful because Christensen and Rudiger had to leave on freeze.
A backup left wing-back, which we needed for years.
You can also cover a left centre-half.
Yeah, we can also cover a left centre-half. We bought in a striker who we thought might get us goals, saying that our last half-decent striker was probably Diego Costa.
Which striker did we bring in?
Aubameyang.
Oh, of course, yeah, sorry.
I
forgot he played for Chelsea Football Club in all honesty, because he's not played since, October now?
And then we also bought in Sterling, who again was a proven in the Premier League. We know what he's capable
I think we've been
of.
unfortunate, though, with Sterling, mostly because he's been injured for a lot of it. But when he's played well.
He has played quite well.
But overall, I think when you look at that window now, we look back with some regret. I don't think Koulibaly was the right addition. Would I have gone for Mark Cucurella? Probably not, considering Potter's not here now.
This is the problem. Because if you ask me, is Koulibaly a good signing under Tuchel? Well, I guess Tuchel wanted him and we could have moulded him to get used to the Premier League. If you then ask me if he's a good signing under Potter...
We're 4 managers on now.
Yeah, that's the problem.
There's no identity behind this team. You look at Liverpool and you look at the players and you go, if Klopp leaves, they have to target someone who can play that gegenpressing, that high press system. But there's also other options, obviously. You could play something like a tiki-taka. With Chelsea, it's such a weird amalgamation of footballers. Like, we've got 40 players at the side. We've heard these ridiculous stories.
The problem is, you have half a squad that Thomas Tuchel wanted, half a squad that Graham Potter wanted, and they're all managed by Frank Lampard.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's just it's a terrible situation, and because that's the problem. You look at the January window.
That was also mental.
Mudryk, Badiashile, Enzo Fernandez.
Enzo Fernandez, the big one at 100 mil.
Brilliant window. 3 world-class players.
Yeah.
But the problem is...
David Attra Fofana.
Yeah, he's also very good. Quite good. And we also were brought in a lot of youngsters with high potential. Problem is, they're not wanted by Frank Lampard. They were Graham Potter's signings, and now Frank Lampard's got to manage them.
Yeah, it's a really weird situation, isn't it, Chelsea right now, where there is no one playing style that suits all. There's too many players to please everyone. Yeah. I don't understand how it fits into a side.
You've got you've got 7 players that fit one system, and then another 7 that fit a different system, and another 7 that fit a different system. You've got people changing.
We seem to follow the same recruitment that Chelsea have over the last decade. It's just this scattergun approach. We're just going to buy all the talent, and we'll work out what we do with it afterwards. It just means that no manager can come in and stamp their authority.
What it does mean is that once every 5 years, we will have a fantastic window. You look back to 16-17. Was it 16-17?
That's fantastic when we brought back Igoko.
Okay, not that window. Which window? We went Hazard, Courtois, everyone else. We brought them all in.
Well, that was like 2013, mate.
That was a good window.
Okay. Well, it's been 10 years, but...
That was probably our best window since last summer.
Yeah, Courtois and Hazard weren't the same window either.
They are.
Courtois joined 2012, Hazard... 2011, sorry, Hazard joined 2012. Because Hazard joined after the Champions League success.
Oh yeah, Courtois.
Courtois joined before, but I think was probably on loan at Atleti or in the...
I forgot that Courtois, we bought Courtois and sent him back to Atleti, and then he came back in 2012 with Hazard.
Regardless, quick history lesson there on about Courtois, but Todd Boehly then. So, where are we now? April? We are...
It's already April. Thank God. Season's over in a month.
9 months on from his acquisition of the club. Has it been a success or a failure so far for Todd Boehly?
Oh, it's been a failure, but I don't think that's entirely his fault.
No?
No. I think we've brought in some world-class players. We've had some world-class windows. I just think... I don't think the fans haven't helped him. We'll touch on that in a bit. And the manager, the underperformance of the team, I don't think lies on him. Because we've brought in the right players. We've got world-class footballers in our football team. They just haven't been put together to play well.
No. This is, again, as we've said, it's a really weird squad at the moment. We don't actually have a striker. The only one that is there has been frozen out of the team.
And that's the thing.
For some reason.
Players, key players underperforming, like Mason Mount. You've got players that have been frozen out, like Aubameyang, and even Ziyech and Pulisic have been frozen out.
To a certain extent, yeah. And then if you couple that with the injury crisis that we've had this season, I think over half the squad's probably had an injury lasting at least a week or so. So I do think it's been a tough situation for all involved. But if you ask me, has Todd Boehly been successful or whether he's failed, I would argue he's failed so far. Just simply because I don't think he's gained the support of the Chelsea fans that he had at the start. I think, if anything, that's decreased over time, which is quite strange. Usually you see a football owner, people are apprehensive at first and then they start to grow to like them as they do more for the club. Instead, everyone was loving Boehly and it's slowly
toppled down. I think that lies
down
on Chelsea fans a lot. Because,
what do you mean by that?
Well, I think obviously it is very hard as a Chelsea fan, for most Chelsea fans who have spent decades, not decades, they've spent years watching Roman Abramovich own this football club, and we've been very successful under Roman. I think it was obviously very hard for Chelsea fans for Roman to go and come with a new owner, and then when this new owner isn't doing as well as Abramovich is, we're very quick to jump on the bandwagon of I don't like this person, because we got attached to Tuchel, and then as soon as he was gone and we brought in Potter, I think some Chelsea fans didn't give Potter a chance. Immediately on his back.
No, and I think that while that's a negative, I do think that was a big error by Todd Boehly. If you want to get the Chelsea fans on side, do not sack the most successful coach in recent times, the Champions League winning coach. Leave him to the end of the season.
That was a terrible.
There was no harm in letting Tuchel see out this season and see where we are, because I think we'd be in a stronger position. I think we'd at least be in the top 7. I think we'd definitely still be in the Champions League, which I know we're still in there.
And going to Real Madrid,
God,
tonight, by the time this goes out, if we had Thomas Tuchel, I would say we're doing this. We are doing this. We're going to win the Champions League.
Instead,
Frank Lampard. I love Frank Lampard. Don't get me wrong. Absolutely.
Are we going to get to double digits?
But he spent most of his managerial career at Derby and at Everton.
And at Chelsea.
He did do that. But he's managed the Championship, and he's only just kept the team out of the Championship.
But he did keep him out of the Championship. That's positive, because we are still in the relegation fight.
But yeah, for the league, brilliant. We know he's got that relegation dogfight in him. But for the Champions, it's just... Yeah, I don't know. I think, if we look at his decisions, I think sacking Tuchel was the wrong one. I think sacking Potter was the right one, because sacking Potter and bringing in Lampard, I think, has brought some of the fans back on side.
I disagree. Again, I think he's made another mistake, because Graham Potter, as much as Chelsea fans were getting on his back, as much as Chelsea fans weren't supporting him necessarily, he was with the side for a very long time, for quite a while. Lampard's only just coming in. If we had the only chance we had at winning the Champions League was if Graham Potter's there. If Frank Lampard pulls off a miracle, we build him a statue, we hail him as the Messiah. But that's
already the Messiah.
Unlikely going to happen. So in the situation we don't win the Champions League, I think we look at it as if Graham Potter was there, he's more likely to have won the Champions League than Frank Lampard, simply because he's been there for a while. There's a chance that he pulls off something tactically. If we're going to beat Real Madrid, it's not going to be because we had more heart or passion or whatever, those sort of football fans would say.
But Frank Lampard, he is tactically
limited.
Yeah, I'll be honest.
That's not necessarily a criticism of Lampard. It is a criticism, but it's not harsh because he's not had much experience. He's not. That's not his side of. That's not where he.
I
his
feel
expertise.
his game plan might be to go to the Bernabeu and outrun them and be stronger than them.
And you never know. It might work. Mason Mount might loop one in top corner and we might have another magical.
That's what I was about to come on.
Champions League night.
The saving grace for Chelsea could be that if Frank Lampard can get players like Mount, players like Pulisic, somehow firing like they were for him in 2019. 2020. Not 2020. Yeah, 2020. Was it 20? Yeah, it was 2019, 2020. Yes, we haven't got Tammy Abraham, but we've got Kai Havertz. Maybe you can get him fired. That's something.
No, if anything, Kai Havertz is not going to play for Chelsea again.
But I think if we can I think Lampard could get Madrid firing, which would be nice. If you can get, I think
he's a good manager. I don't think he's a miracle.
The main one.
No, you would be with offside, honestly.
The main one for me would be get Mason Mount back to his best because that will make everyone else around him infinitely better. And the only man that can do that, I think, is Frank Lampard. And if that doesn't work, then we have to sell Mount.
But yeah, so is he losing the support of Chelsea fans, Todd Boehly? Because we've gone on a bit of a tangent now. We're looking at Lampard and whether we can win the Champions League. But has Todd Boehly lost the support of Chelsea fans?
Yeah, I think he's lost support of some of them. He hasn't lost my support. So Todd.
No, but I don't hate the bloke or anything mental like that. I don't necessarily think he's bad at his job, but I do have questions over his tenure so far. I think there's been a lot of calls which are a bit nonsensical. There's apparent rumours. There's mental rumours that James Corden was involved in the decision making regarding Frank Lampard. Apparently, in February, James Corden, mates with Todd Boehly, called him up and said, "You should give Frank the gig, mate." Which, if true,
on what planet has that happened?
Well,
not on this planet.
Oh, you never know, do you? James Corden really is the expert there when it comes to picking football managers. Dear. But it's a bit odd because he's hired the people to do the jobs that he can't, and yet he seems to overrule them. Like he brought in Christopher Vival, who is a fantastic technical director, and then he's proceeded to just not listen, really, because Vival reportedly wants Julian Nagelsmann and Boehly seems more intent on Luis Enrique. He wants short-term success. Makes sense. Boehly needs a trophy really next year to get Chelsea fans on side.
Oh yeah, I think that is a big thing. I
think if he brings in Nagelsmann and we get Champions League football next year, I'm content because I know Nagelsmann has that long-term success in him.
But we are very different to most Chelsea fans. A lot of Chelsea fans are very reactionary, as we've learned throughout this season. So I feel from a Todd Boehly point of view, if he wants to have the...
I don't know if most Chelsea fans are reactionary. I think it's just the loud minority.
Yeah, if he wants to have the majority of Chelsea support, though, I think he needs to find a way to deliver a trophy next season. Because if we go trophyless for 2 seasons, not even a Carrow Cup...
We might win the Summer Series in July.
Oh.
A 6-team tournament in Philadelphia featuring big teams like Brentford, Aston Villa, Newcastle and other mid-table sides and Chelsea. Of course.
Yeah, I think... does a lot rest on Boehly whether Frank Lampard can get us back into Europe this season? It's done. I think it's done.
I don't think it does. I don't think Boehly's going to sell if we don't get Europe.
No. But I mean...
We enter a difficult financial situation without Champions League football. If we win the Champions League, if we get Champions League football, everyone's buzzing. Todd Boehly gets a picture on the wall in the studio and, everyone's...
If we win the Champions first year, everyone's forget what we're talking
exactly.
about
So that's his saving grace, isn't it? For everything like that.
I just think for Boehly, it is a very hard seat. It's very hard to replace Roman Abramovich. Very, very hard. Not only at the club, but also in Chelsea fans' hearts.
But yeah, what needs to be done over the summer then? We'll probably we probably end up doing another 7 Chelsea videos before the start of the season.
I have 1 word, and 3 words actually. Sell, sell, sell.
Right.
Not the club.
Everyone's gone.
Yeah, we need to.
I agree with the notion that a clear out is necessary, but I also think we need to buy players.
We do. We need to,
but the right players.
But we have to get rid of some players.
Don't go in June. Oh, let's just get him. Let's think about it. We've got till August.
Yeah, exactly.
Go through the options.
I think there's a good list of 10, 15 that I would sell.
You're going to sell 15 players?
Okay, 10 then.
Go on then.
I've kind of forgot.
Yeah, name the 15 players, 10 players that you're going to sell.
Aubameyang, Pulisic, Ziyech, Gallagher, Loftus-Cheek.
That's 5.
It's too early to sell Koulibaly, isn't it?
Probably, yeah. I don't really know where he goes. I don't know where half of those players go, but you know.
I think Mendy you can possibly sell.
Why Mendy and not Kepa?
Because Kepa's better.
Is he though? By what? What grounds do you rule that?
To be fair, that's actually a good point.
Will Mendy start the Champions League on Wednesday? Probably not, because Kepa's played every game. But
yeah, I would not start him in the first. I started him on Sunday, but I thought Frank Lampard would have. I thought Frank Lampard would have started Mendy.
I thought
but maybe he just kind of doesn't want to upset the team too much, like unbalance it already.
I think there's also a lot of direction from above, and I think that's why they brought in Potter and got rid of Tuchel, because I think Tuchel was too outspoken, whereas Potter, because he doesn't come with reputation.
No, he comes from a little old man from Brighton.
Well, exactly. So I think they were able to push him around the ownership, and I think Lampard won't want to come in and upset everyone, so I think he'll also just follow suit, which worries me that there's a lot of power from the top, and that the manager doesn't actually have much control. Because, that was the reported thing, is that because Kepa came in when Potter came in, that could just be a coincidence. And of course Mendy got injured around the same time. One of the theories is that they want Kepa playing because he's got a higher resale value.
Yeah.
Which, when you think about it, does make sense, but is goalkeeper position Chelsea need to target in the summer?
100%.
Or is it just stick with Mendy or Kepa for now, and then Gabriel Slonina is going to be good enough in a few years?
It's a long few years. I think unless Mendy...
Is it? He's 19 now. He can start at 21.
I think unless Mendy delivers a season which he had for the last 2 years, then yes. But I look back at the start of this season...
Falling over Brendan Aronson, yeah.
Yeah, Howler... But then I look back at some fantastic saves at Brentford like last season. If he can get back on form, Edouard Mendy, that's huge for us. So I like Kepa, but he's not great.
Yeah, it's another weird situation where Chelsea have two goalkeepers who are very similar.
But I look at our goalkeepers over Czech for a few years, fantastic. What a keeper. Thibaut Courtois, until he became a snake, brilliant goalkeeper.
Yeah. Well, I don't really know what your point is, other than we've had good goalies for the last 15 years.
Yeah, and then you look at Mendy, Champions League winning season, what a keeper. This season, it's the one position we haven't been able to rely on, I don't think. I
think like when Kepa was refusing to be subbed off in Carabao Cup finals, that was probably not a great time for goalkeepers.
No, it wasn't. I do that. Yeah, okay. But I think I would. You either start Mendy or sell Mendy. You bench Kepa because Kepa is your brilliant cup goalkeeper. We know he's good at penalties. Well, we're not good at taking them. We learned that we left that in one of the several domestic finals we played against Liverpool, which we've drawn 0-0 and gone to penalties.
I've had a lot of 0-0 with Liverpool. He is quite good at saving penalties, but
he didn't save a single one in that.
Yeah, there's a lot of work to do over the summer. I'm sure we'll do a more in-depth video in that at a later date. Today's focus, obviously, is Todd Boehly and his interesting start to life as Chelsea owner. Last question on the board then. I think this is a bit more controversial than the rest. Can he ever match the success of Roman Abramovich?
That's a tough question.
It is.
Because I have two different answers.
Yes or no? Wow, guys.
Well, yeah.
Revolutionary. He's come up with the two options.
I think yes. Because I think he has more money. He's clearly, he's shown he's very happy to spend a lot of money to win trophies.
He's got more money.
No, because he's
just a factually incorrect statement.
Look at the way he splashed the cash.
That all he's shown so far is that he can mismanage finances, which doesn't fill me with any confidence.
But he also shows he will pay whatever it takes to get the best players.
Yeah, the FFP's going to quickly tell him, no, mate, calm yourself.
But also on that point, I think he can, because there's a lot. I think it's easier to win trophies. Not easier, but there's more.
But what new trophies are there?
Is there more? I swear there's more.
No, what competition's been added since Roman Abramovich came in 2004?
Yeah, but they're like changing formats and things like that. So I think it could become.
Do you think so? Interesting side point. Do you think the Champions League's more easy to win?
Yeah, because it's a league format.
But why does that make it more easy?
Because you have 10 games, right, rather than 6.
Yeah.
So if you're not on form,
So do you think it increases the likelihood we'll see a less shocking winner? Does it decrease the chance of underdogs?
yeah,
Why?
because well, it depends what teams you draw.
Yeah. So surely underdogs will be increased, thus making trophies for the big clubs harder to win.
Yeah, no. My point was no, because the success under Abramovich was massive.
It was, but that we never had a Fergie type era, did we? It was always these
I don't think we will.
couple. Why not? Do you think anyone will ever dominate football in the way that Sir Alex Ferguson did?
That was unbelievable.
It was.
That was genuinely
Unparalleled, but unparalleled in terms of the English division, of course, Bayern Munich, but PSG. Well, even then, PSG slip up every now and then.
Even like Jose Mourinho, he's just gone everywhere and done it all, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He's gone to
Other than Tottenham. Tottenham's the only club.
No, he's
Tottenham
already
and
done it in
Conte
England
have
before
won every single trophy. Have won a trophy at every single club, they've been at, other than
Maybe you should go on about Tottenham. I don't want to talk about Tottenham.
No.
I get so bored.
I think Nuno's the same as well, isn't he? Nuno Espirito Santo, I think he's won a trophy.
What did he win at Wolves?
Sky Bet Championship, mate.
Oh, yeah. And it was Benfica before that, or Porto?
Porto. I imagine they won something.
Oh,
Come on, it's
must have,
Porto, isn't it? So
Like the PT Cup or the Portuguese League Cup.
yeah,
Um,
great knowledge of Portuguese domestic cups. But I think he can match the success of Roman Abramovich simply because he can outlast him.
Oh, yeah.
He can physically win the same trophies. He'll never have the same rags to riches story. Not in terms of Roman, of course. He is very affluent. But in terms of the fact the club was a club that didn't have massive success. We won trophies, of course, before the Abramovich era, but never did we see the success we have seen under Roman Abramovich. But obviously Boehly can't build the club up, unless he makes the Premier League his Bundesliga and Chelsea win everything.
Yeah.
If he does that, then fair enough. He's take that club to another
Not to
level.
live in the past here, but I think we'd be in a much better situation if we still had Roman Abramovich.
Yeah, simply because Antonio Rudiger and Andreas Christensen would still be here.
Yeah.
The squad would have been disrupted less that summer.
I think either Tuchel would be in charge or Potter would still be in charge. I don't think he'd sack both of them in the season.
I don't think Roman Abramovich would hire Graham Potter.
No, probably not.
That's just not a Roman Abramovich.
He's not a long-term project man. He's more of a...
Mourinho would be back, potentially, come the end of the season.
Oh, bring Roman and Mourinho back. Oh,
Roman Abramovich won't ever return. Yeah, so the conclusion we've come to today is that the war was not great. Wow, shocking, I know. But I think that's all for today. If you have enjoyed, make sure to leave a like. I think that is all we have to discuss.
Just to finish, we do have to get behind Boehly and Lamps now, though. For the last 8 games of the season, Champions League quarter-finals, Real Madrid, we have to, from a Chelsea point of view, we have to back them to the hill. And because if we do that and it fails, that's all right. We'll get rid of Frank Lampard. He'll never wear a Chelsea jacket ever again.
Oh, he definitely will. Every night.
He'll never wear a Chelsea.
I'm convinced he sleeps in a Chelsea
He'll never stand on the Chelsea touchline.
He will. He'll book a stadium tour every day that we're able.
I would love to see JT back as an assistant manager, but he's now at Leicester.
Just gone Leicester, yeah. We've also has to do a video on Leicester.
We'll probably talk about that at some point. Leicester.
Who knows?
Dean Smith, Craig Shakespeare and JT, bands back together.
Just sounds like a great night out.
Yeah, it does.
Jamie Vardy. Yeah.
Dino, Shakespeare and JT.
Yeah. Anyway, that's all for today's podcast episode. I hope you've enjoyed it very much. I hope you've enjoyed us discussing Chelsea for a change. We don't like to talk about them too much because it brings us immense pain. But
we'll cry.
Hopefully you've enjoyed it.
Tonight. Make sure to tune in.
Tune into the stream this evening. Chelsea versus Real Madrid. It's probably not going to be very fun. But yeah, that is all from us today. Get involved in the conversation. Get involved in the comments section. Keep the conversation going down there. Want to hear from you guys what your thoughts on this topic are. And of course, if you're new around here, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We're aiming for 2,500 subscribers this year. I set that goal last week. I can't remember what day, but would love to be able to hit it. I think we
can.
Yeah, approaching 1,350 now. So 1.2 go to go. We've just got to double our sub count. Is it possible? Well, hopefully you can help us realise it. But yeah, that is all from us today. Thank you all very much for watching or listening, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.